Thank you so much for having me here today. So I think there is a little bit of intersection between my presentation and what Dr. Ibrahim just have said here, but I will try to complement. So, what I would like to focus today is not in how actually or what we should do to succeed with digital transformation, but I would like to focus in what I have done actually in real life here in my last 8 years working in the region to succeed. So what are the tools that I believe that really can help us to overcome the challenges? And here we go, the intersection point is exactly about people also, which is one of the points that I want to talk about it. So, the 4 points that I would like to focus is the maturity assessment, which is the first tool that really helped us a lot to identify what is the opportunities, the strengths, the challenges, and the weaknesses of each competence, function, organization that we are trying to transform, right? Or where we wanted to implement such innovation or different kind of product and technology. So the second point is the maturity models, because we do have different vendors, of course, in the market offering different kind of maturity models, frameworks for us. We don't have something really, I would say, formal, but we do have many views nowadays in the market. Also, the third tool is the OCM, or Organizational Change Management, which is exactly the human factor. And the fourth point is the technology implementation itself. Okay, so coming to the first one, which is the digital maturity assessment. So how it can help us actually to identify what is the right path for which kind of product or technology we do need to implement. So here it comes. So for different kind of maturity assessment, we are able to identify the function, the organization, if we are actually digitally active, engaged, mature, or only present. So this is the main points that I would like to focus on for maturity assessment, because this really helps us to identify what is the path that we need to focus on to implement the innovation and technology. So the second point is about digital maturity models. So the digital maturity models is exactly the tool that help us to identify what is the goal, what we wanted to achieve, where we want to go with our innovation or product implementation or new technology implementation. So these points, it can help us to leverage what are the tools and what are the methodologies that we need to use for it. Okay, so if we wanted to reach a level 1, so we wanted to focus on innovate and to transform digitally only the end user experience, or we wanted to focus on the operation, which would be our maturity level or maturity model level 2, or we want also to focus on the insights and data analytics or utilization of AI, for example, is where we would be reaching level 3. Or we want to go directly to level 4, which is of course the world-class kind of digital transformation and maturity model, where we do have the full cycle present and digitally active and mature. How it can be achieved? Of course, when you reach the level that you do have customer experience 100% digitalized, and you have also your operations integrated with your customer service and customer experience, and also you do have AI implementation, for example, data analytics, where you can have market insights related to the data generated, is where you achieve the full cycle, because the management, the strategic management, they can also have all the outcomes from the end user to the operations, to the management, to the middle level management, and to the strategic level. So the third point that I would like to talk about it is the human factor itself. So how the OCN and the organizational change management, of course, I think most of us we already know this very well, right? But how it can help us. Organizational change management is not only about people itself, training people, but is engaging people with the innovation mindset, which Dr. Ibrahim just talked about. So that's why I'm not going to take so much on in this slide, but I just would like to reinforce that people management, training, engaging, building the culture of innovation with people in the different organizations is what helps us to be prepared for any kind of transformation and new kind of technology implementation. So, and for the last, but not less important, the technology implementation itself. So, when we are using maturity assessment to identify where we want to go, maturity model to identify where we want to be, what we want to achieve, when we are working through the people and organizational change management to engage everyone in the transformation or innovation points, is exactly where we can identify and apply better the technologies and products that we do have in the market. And how we have to do this, how we do this. Of course, this is through project implementation that we all know, so many methodologies and frameworks that we have about it. But one thing that I urge that all of us, we do need really to care about is that the point that is coming before technology implementation is what really help us to overcome challenges. Why? Because usually we go only for the product implementation itself, or the technology implementation. But we cannot forget actually about cybersecurity, about virtualization, for example, about the infrastructure, and about the data migration or integration. Why? All of us, most of us, we already have implemented this, or we already have went through this at some point, right? But the biggest challenge here is exactly about cybersecurity and infrastructure. This is what I have seen locally in the region, especially working in the public sector. And how we can overcome that. Exactly integrating everyone in the organization, in the function, from business through IT department to operations to end user customer. So this is the main points that I would like actually to bring up here that really can help us to overcome challenges. Why? Because the assessment helps us, again, to identify where we want to be, the maturity model, where we want to go, the organizational change management to engage people properly, not only through training, and at last, the technology implementation itself. Thank you so much. Any questions? Anyone would like to? Yes? Do we have the mic?
Thanks very much for your presentation. My question exactly on the digital maturity models. You mentioned the four levels, and would you want to tell us some examples of these models? Because some of them are free, and some of them are paid.
Yes, yes. So I don't want to bring up here actually the name of specific vendors, but we do have few different organizations, IT industry, consulting companies that they are actually bringing out different kind of frameworks and methodologies. So for public sector, I would mention actually Australian government. They have actually a free framework that is shared across the world. So if you do not have access, we can actually exchange information later on. But this is one of the governments, for example, that they do have something more, a little bit more accurate and proper that can be shared with other countries and organizations. Thank you. Anyone else? Yes.
Thank you for your presentation. I didn't understand the difference between the world class and the others. It seemed they had the same components. So if you can kindly elaborate on that. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Okay. So the point here is that for level 1, we would focus on the customer experience more, right? Because it's the output actually from any organization or private business or different kind of industries. So the level 2, it means that we would have not only the outcome, the end user services digitalized, but also the operations, the internal operations that serves or gives support for the end user. So the level 3 is where we would have both together, not only the customer service already 100% I would say mature, digitally speaking. Then I would have also internal operations for support, and plus I would have also data insights. So I would be actually at that level 3 mature enough to have different kind of technology or a specific type of technology that can help me to have data insight to improve my business and the end user experience itself. So, and for the level 4 or less, where we will have, of course, all of them together. The full cycle for any organization or company is 100% mature and active, digitally speaking. I hope I could answer properly. Yeah.
I think one of the most important features of broadcast system is that it gives you benchmarking with other organizations on the same size of your area. This is a very beneficial feature of broadcast system.
Yes. Thank you. Anybody else? I see. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much. I think you complimented Dr. Ibrahim presentation very well. Actually, I have just one comment and maybe a question here. I think the presentation you have is very good for people who are engaging into digital transformation projects. But according to the statistics from different entities, they are saying that more than 85% of digital transformation project has been failed, which means that there is a scary part of this, that although there is a lot of models and a lot of, for example, awareness about how to carry on your digital transformation project, but the statistics are telling us completely different story. So what do you think these people are missing?
Yes, thank you so much for your question, actually. And what I think about that is, why do we have a fail? In my case, for example, personally speaking, I would tell you that locally I have succeeded with 70%, about 70% in the last 8 years, through different kinds of implementation. Don't get me wrong, but it's business transformation, technology implementation, from infrastructure, virtualization, migration, database integration, data center creation and migration, etc. So, why does this happen? I do believe it's exactly why. There is no, how can I tell you? First of all, we don't have a formal framework nowadays that gives us exactly certification, right, or right certification, that gives us exactly the steps that we need to follow. So you have different kind of frameworks, you have different kind of methodologies that help us from the conception of the digital transformation to the implementation and the personalization. But bottom line, what I would say, we need to tailor actually how we should go about it, each kind of innovation and implementation. Now if you think, how do we tailor this, is where we do have the professionals that can use different methodologies and frameworks, is actually to combine the correct tools for the correct scenario, the correct in the specific industry, and then we can try to succeed with the implementation. But of course, all this needs to be tailored, but we do need to have KPIs, proper KPIs, for different scenarios, different industries, different organizations, and these need to be looked up from the management, from the back end, I would say, of each organization, competencies, etc. This is, I believe, is exactly how we can avoid. Basically, we do need to tailor, because nowadays we know that we have a very big range of innovation, technology, products in any organization, right? Because everything grows up exponentially, so we do need to tailor for different scenarios. Thank you. Thank you.